When Elon Musk suddenly backed out of the interview, the internet exploded, spawning the viral Musk Flakes trend, playfully nicknaming him Snowflake Chief, a loud billionaire who trembles when challenged. It's hard to believe that a 61-year-old man with a broken coffee cup could make Musk hesitate. And here's what Musk was thinking after some second thoughts. Prefer not to know, and honestly, I don't prefer not to know, but after considering his proposal, I thought, hey, Musk likes to present himself as a free speech crusader who's not afraid of taking on the world. But when confronted with Jon Stewart and The Daily Show's microphone, he suddenly began to sweat. Initially, it looked like an uncut interview would be a walk in the park, but little did anyone expect. After considering his proposal, I thought, hey, that's pretty much how the in-studio interviews typically go. The Daily Show graciously gave Musk free rein. He got to talk as much as he wanted, even commenting there was nothing else to broadcast but wait for Musk to arrive. But rather than dominating the stage, Musk abruptly accused Stewart of propagandizing and being too conservative, then disappeared from the scene. He publicly stated, Musk responded with, Jon Stewart is far more of a propagandist than it would appear. Jon is too obstinate. He was more bipartisan back then. Stewart had this to say to us on Monday. Jon Stewart was back at The Daily Show sharp as a scalpel, cutting down Musk's notorious dog project without hesitation. Stewart ridiculed that Musk wasn't cutting waste, but emperoring, running the government like a whim, hurting the very people he was supposed to be helping. Stewart bluntly said, so they wanted to baby-proof. So this is... Anyway, we had some criticism of Doge. Stewart, while throwing punches against Musk, broke a coffee cup on the table by accident, cutting his hand. This was immediately taken by the online world and turned into a symbol of David versus Goliath struggle. Stewart bleeding for the truth while Musk also invited himself onto the show, but with caveats. Musk tweeted or X'd, I guess that he'd like to come on here and speak with me if only the show is aired unedited. So I felt that Stewart did not hesitate to call out Musk and tell him that he did not want to answer difficult questions, but only wanted to dictate the whole game. Stewart also admonished Musk that being bipartisan does not mean supporting Trump in America while rooting for the far-right party in Germany, but accepting dictatorship in two different forms. Stewart had claimed, support Donald Trump, and also Germany's AfD party, that's not bipartisan. That's just the same shit. Stewart continued saying this. I do have some complaints about Doge. Beneath the Walkout Act lies the truth about the dog project, where Musk carried out huge layoffs, paralyzing core services. Most Trump cabinet members also disapproved of his chainsaw approach to cost-cutting. The scene was portrayed, thus significant individuals he selected to head. The agencies had come to a sort of breaking point regarding what they refer to as Elon Musk's chainsaw method here, to the cuts, and the gathering was within the cabinet room. The president was living 20 officials present. Then the veterans, he knows something. He knows how to handle a dumbed-down population whose schools have been destroyed, so the public gets easily manipulated by someone like him, those who vote for him. He enjoyed record turnouts. He commands the biggest rallies. He stands for a 21st century fascism of uniting the state and capital to serve the few at others' expense. Trump is really a master of having a totally inverted world where failure is made higher than success, fraud is made higher than justice, and falsehoods are made festive as truth. This is not normal magic, but political magic of the highest level that leaves most people agog in utter incredulity. He might have lost the popular vote twice, sued more times than there are days in summer, yet still enjoy millions of diehard fans just because they are treated to a theatrics of drama, leading them to believe that it is all a conspiracy against him. The strength of this magic is the ability to manipulate a partially ignorant populace, coupled with his unparalleled ability to create the portrait of a victim. You reside here in Ohio. You understand what I mean. Whether or not Trump means it is sort of besides the point, because he's telling these things to these people who are suffering. And it's why all these downtrodden, nameless, forgotten working-class guys who used to be in what they were once called the middle class adore Trump. He is the human Molotov cocktail they've been anticipating, the human hand grenade that they are legally able to toss into the system that took their lives away from them. You'd hope once the truth comes out, people get their act together. No chance. In Trump's scenario, the truth just becomes the fuel for a whole new show. Every new lawsuit is not the end, but a platform to organize protests, garner attention, and uphold the belief of his diehard followers. Individuals who stick to him in spite of overwhelming proof against him. They're horror movie enthusiasts, fanatical to the extent that they imagine demons as long as they don't need to look at reality. I don't believe that they are actually in touch with where most Americans are at. Most Americans don't want this divisiveness. They don't want to have a threat of violence. We are allowed to disagree with one another, but that's where it stops. Michael Moore didn't just out Trump. He brought all of America and perhaps the world. Witness the fall of a self-made myth. From colossal failures such as being unable to sell steak, a product regarded as a national institution, to infamous casino bankruptcies in an industry where the house never loses. All of them are on Trump's bottomless list. Once the symbol of overconfidence, Trump is now merely the furious late-night tweeter inventing endless excuses and ceaseless cons. Donald Trump's a huge capitalist and free enterprise and the kind of thing that's brought us to our knees. That belief that you could just get away with whatever you wanted and it doesn't matter who you hurt doing it. And I don't see him changing really, but I think he knows he's been on television, you know? I mean, he's a performance artist. He knows what to say and he knows how to make this appeal. You think it's BS? Only Michael Moore with his biting satire can entirely bring this nature out through comments like a glittering business career replete with bankruptcies, financial scandals, and legal accusation. Leaves people astounded at the artistry and how he evades responsibility. They actually think that the average normal American wants to be told that they really think that we don't like him. We are immigrants. We are all the children and grandchildren, great-grandchildren of immigrants. Unless you're African American or unless you're one of the first peoples that were here, we are all the progeny of immigrants, and we adore our grandparents and great-grandparents and the folks that brought us to this wonderful country. And to speak about immigrants in such vicious, vile terms, Trump just persists in using old-time rhetoric to set people against one another and instill fear about immigrants. But one thing he cannot dispute is that America was founded by immigrants, with the exception of a few indigenous folks. Michael Moore, as a sarcastic prophet, reminds the people that such division is not only pointless, but adverse to success in that all are immigrants at their origin. The fact that you just finished having a conversation where we have a president of the United States who does not know about the oath he just swore on January 20th indicates everything that I need to know. You know, the thing that really stemmed from the oath that he was going to take, and he allegedly took an oath, which there's a lot of folks that say that he never placed his hand on the Bible. He didn't even have good sense enough in that same interview to answer a simple question, such as, yes, I will adhere to the Constitution. You'd imagine castrate as some tough guy speak about dudes, huh? No way. It's actually a gruesome expression for gut your constitutional obligation, sounding way creepier than any of the crap on Netflix. Jasmine Crockett, chilly and calculated as one of those high-end automatic coffee makers, they're standing in front of those people saying to them, you're essentially neutering yourselves. That is, don't go becoming a band playing with no instruments. And Trump's supporters, oh, they're busy attempting to interrupt like a group of restless children bored with the game. In the meantime, Trump himself likely wishes to burst like a firecracker because the reality smacks his dirty strategy in the belly. Simple as that. If you do not wish to be castrated, then do your damn job. Do not make Congress a circus where Uncle Trump yells louder than all the other people's phone alerts. That is what is going on currently. I am sick of the white tears. Listen, if you're qualified, you're not worried. When I go to Congress each and every day, you know why I don't have a feeling and why you can't make me question who I am. Really is not political. I understand that it does appear very partisan, but ultimately we understand that the Republican cuts that they are making, that these cuts are not going to affect only Democrats and independents, but Republicans too. There ain't no comparison, and that is the life we have always known. So the only ones crying are the average white boys who have been beaten out by individuals who in the past had to toil so much. Crockett delivers the knockout blow when she calls out the white tears dudes. You know, the ones who always whine and complain, but never actually do a thing while commanding all the benefits. Her trump card against Trump. Not screaming, not throwing shade, but the law. Straight up law. She whips out a rule book that Trump apparently has no clue how to play. Imagine, Trump's over here attempting to do magic with classified docs like I just think it's declassified now. While this, Crockett's breaking it down so calmly with all the paperwork and red tape like a person completing a visa application. Trump's building a house on air and Crockett's just standing there saying, where's your building permit? And the crowd's just rolling their eyes in unison. This is really straightforward. We currently have a white supremacist who is residing in the White House. He is supported by other white supremacists. And if you want to know who the criminals are here in this country, just Google it You don't need to believe me. Destroying our democracy in a physical way and now tearing us down right here from the inside. But the people who perpetrate 80% of the most violent crimes within this country are white supremacists. But for whatever reason, they sit and they serve at the president's pleasure. They are the ones that were present on January 6th. Crockett criticizes the Republicans for passing on their constitutional responsibilities to unelected bureaucrats, essentially like having someone else eat your dinner rather than boasting about how healthy your meals are. She completely bursts the phony bubble of financial excellence the GOP enjoys boasting about. When Trump's crew realize their nasty little secrets are being revealed, they resort to scream and interrupt mode, like a rock band out of ideas just making noise to pass the time. You can view the same old playbook, yelling, changing the subject, calling names, dancing around, every circus trick so nobody gets a straight answer. But Crockett, she's like a yoga judge. No matter how crazy the dancers get, she remains centered, breathing calm, and releases those legal moves with spot precision. When the president goes down to Florida on the weekend, does he ever hear from any retired Americans who are stressed about these wild swings in the stock market because of the tariff uncertainty, and they're sitting there on fixed income or living off a 401k, and they don't know how much money is going to be left? Well, certainly they are valid concerns, and the president does take those concerns very seriously, and tomorrow's announcement is in order to preserve future generations. The senior citizens that you mentioned, this president is going to always preserve it for our tax-paying senior citizens. Their 401ks, let me tell you what President Trump did for you in his first term, and they'll learn more about that announcement tomorrow. Here it is. The impressive performance of Caroline Leavitt, Trump's official spokesperson, coming forward to calm the seniors worried over wayward financial fluctuations and dwindling 401ks. Like the same old rhetoric that we all know, but with a difference. At the same time, reducing inflation, reducing energy prices, reducing regulations, and creating tariffs effectively. As if Trump were some sort of multitasking superhero. Let's get real. If you're wondering if Trump is comfy having Americans shell out more due to tariffs, Caroline says he's doing everything in his power to reduce living expenses. Too bad that reduced expense is an illusion that only insiders perceive. By now, you may be asking yourself if we're trapped in an endless soap opera with no ending? Yep. And Caroline, she's merely reading the script while the audience, well, they're still sweating their diminishing retirement nest egg.